Y2K is back, and it's not back because it's cool, it's back because brands want your money.
The early 2000s were flooded with trends. You'd hit them all with your friends, listening to your favorite pop punk bands, buying music t-shirts, while your crappy flip phone ate up your paycheck from only a 5-minute call to your girlfriend. This era was loaded with bad fashion, thoughtless commercialized bands, and technology that was pure style over substance. Today, I'm going to talk about why Y2K sucks, and why the Y2K revival isn't some authentic comeback, but more of a lazy industry cash grab to repackage trends to newer generations. The cycle of trends is looping back. For some people, it's nostalgic, and for others, it's a nightmare. Late 90s and early 2000s fashion was interesting. Frosted tips, spiked hair, baggy cargo shorts, and oversized sunglasses were everywhere. For women, it was low-rise jeans, crop tops, and an era obsessed with extreme thinness to the point where eating disorders were practically encouraged. The makeup during this period was also caked on to the point of looking bizarre, and the overall style felt flashy and commercialized instead of organic and creative. Modern reinterpretation of Y2K fashion is basically mid-rise jeans, baby tees with dumb captions, platform sneakers, and tinted sunglasses. It's all about surface-level aesthetics rather than any real cultural substance, and most of it seems based around cherry-picking the 25% of actually decent outfits worn by Britney Spears and Paris Hilton. Now, the worst part of the early 2000s for me was the music. Even though some of my favorite albums are from this decade, it still produced some of the worst mainstream music trends in modern history. Sure, it was the golden age for genres like glitch, electronic, and indie, but it was a disaster for others like punk, metal, country, and even rap. Punk's anti-consumerism and anti-establishment roots were gutted and replaced with
Mainstream co-opting and commercialization, Warped Tour focus, and a loss of political and raw edge.
goth culture also took a hit, blending with the commercial emo scene, making it more trend-friendly and less about counterculture. Metal was also in the process of being watered down. Bands like Slipknot, Korn, and Linkin Park felt too focused on mass appeal. The aggression felt curated, the edge felt safe. It came off as rebellion packaged for the mall. Country music also completely fell apart after 9/11, when the formula for success became tossing together a lazily written tearjerker about patriotism. 9/11, 9/11, 11. And even though mainstream country was already kind of declining in the late 90s, the early 2000s put that decline into overdrive. Hip-hop was going through a weird transitional phase. Hip-hop in the early 2000s entered what often is called the bling era, a time when flashy jewelry, luxury cars, and designer brands were front and center. While this era had its own style and definitely gave us some iconic tracks, it also marked a shift away from the political and storytelling roots of the genre. The funniest Y2K nostalgia to me, though, is the technology. I see people talking about how simple and futuristic everything looked, and it's hilarious because even though I barely remember using it, I still remember how bad it was. Flip phones and Nokias were terrible. They were ugly, fragile, and insanely expensive to use. Instead of unlimited plans, you had a set number of minutes, and they weren't cheap. Ringtones were a massive trend too, with a 30-second ringtone sometimes costing $4. The internet was also much worse. Unless your family had money for high-speed broadband, you were stuck with dial-up, which made doing literally anything online a nightmare. Computers would crash randomly and take forever to start up again, and ads were also out of control and would halt the speed of your computer at any given moment. Windows 95 and early 2000s software might look cool now with its retro aesthetic, but back then it was slow, clunky, and unreliable. Add on the fact that most tech ran on AA batteries and was coated in cheap plastic. Not only did you have an era that was annoying to live through, but it was terrible for the environment as well. Early 2000s were marketed as this cut loose, carefree time where people just wanted to have fun, spend money, and collect trinkets. But underneath all of that was also a heavy atmosphere of Islamophobia, post 9/11 fear-mongering from the media, and a lot of very ugly societal issues that get completely glossed over now. Most people today using the term Y2K don't even realize that it originally referred to the Y2K Y2K bug, which was the panic that computers would crash at the turn of the millennium. Overall, Y2K wasn't some golden age. It was a period where corporations realized they could market coolness to teenagers that didn't know any better. And now, because it's just been long enough, companies are reselling the same era to a generation that doesn't realize how corny and forced it was. So that's going to conclude today's video. What do you hate about Y2K, or what do you like about Y2K? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching.